Hello, good people. My name is Dr. Rose M, and you're welcome to the Save Happy Life channel. If you have subscribed, welcome home. Thank you for your support. If you're a new viewer, kindly consider subscribing and consider going to our playlist so that you can see what has been going on while you are out of the family. Today, I would like to disrupt the discussion on drugs of addiction to discuss a very serious emerging issue in the world. And to give a background, at the tail end of 2019, the world heard of a virus in Wuhan. We thought, particularly so far away in Africa, that it was very far and it had nothing to do with us. See where it took us. Recently, in the past few weeks, about a month or so, Russia has invaded Ukraine. Put it in a different way, recently, and more precisely, President Putin has sneezed and the whole world has caught a cold. And here is how us in Africa have caught the flu. We may not be directly involved, but I'm going to talk about my country of origin, that is Kenya. Kenya imports more than 50% of the wheat from Ukraine and Russia. After the war broke out in Ukraine, the price per ton, data has it, went up to 57,000 Kenya shillings, up from 45,600 Kenya shillings. That was a 25% increase between the month of February and the month of March. The price is rising as the battle rises. Number 2, Russia is the biggest buyer of Kenyan tea. That means that market is closed. Where does that leave the tea farmer in Kenya? Number 3, crude oil prices are rising. Today, petrol rose by 5 shillings per liter. And when petroleum products rise, everything else goes up. The price of gas has gone through the roof. In February, precisely on 15th of February, I bought gas, 13 kilograms at 2,500. On 4th of March, the same cylinder, 13 kilograms, was 3,350. Inside our homes, particularly those of us who are farmers, we use fertilizer. And Russia is the biggest world exporter of fertilizer. This is the flood preparation season in Kenya as we wait for long rains to start in April. Where does that leave the Kenyan farmer this season and cumulatively? At the household level, I did some little survey about the common products that a household may use. And this is what I found out. That in the month of January, or not January, February and March, the prices of the common goods has shot through the roof. For example, the cooking oil has gone from 180 per liter, 180 shillings per liter, to 350 shillings per liter. And that is the cooking oil that a shopkeeper buys in bulk and measures in smaller amounts. Bar soap has gone from 115 to 180. Wheat flour from roughly 120 to 125 to 180. Maize flour up from 110, 120 to 130. Common rice, the rice that is not cleaned, from 90 shillings to 120. Russia has sneezed and we have caught a serious flu. And we can only pray that the war stops so that the flu does not develop into a serious pneumonia. I may sound like a herald or a messenger of bad tidings, but the reality is families are getting into very, very serious turbulences. What next? We have barely recovered from the COVID-19 stress, and more stress is knocking on our doors. I am not here with economic solutions, but rather with tips on how to manage the stress that this whole battle or this whole conflict between Russia and Ukraine is bringing to us. In the course of time, I would advise or I would suggest that should you observe some or most of the following changes in you, possibly think of yourself as being stressed and seek help. In your behavior, for example, if you find yourself wanting to go into solace, that is, wanting to keep to yourself a little bit more, trying to seek solace in drugs and alcohol, losing interest in previously enjoyed activities, that should tell you that possibly the stress level is going up. If emotionally you are getting anxious, you're feeling uneasy, getting panicky, losing your cool quickly, feeling sad or even crying, feeling frustrated, feeling discouraged, that's another red flag of stress getting the better part of you. If physically you start suffering from headaches, lack of sleep, you're overeating or undereating, you're feeling fatigued, you're having muscle tension, or all manner of physical sicknesses that you cannot quite put your finger on, that's another possibility or another sign that you could be possibly getting affected by stress. Cognitively, that is in the mind, if you become a little bit more forgetful than normal, you develop racing thoughts, you cannot concentrate, you are indecisive, you should possibly calm down and recorrect yourself and see how you can how you could possibly be a candidate for stress, and we shall look at how to minimize this stress. Spiritually also, if you find yourself getting affected, getting angry with your deity, surrendering into powerlessness to the deity, asking questions such as, where is God? Why is he letting the world suffer? Why is he raising the prices? Don't we have enough? Why? These questions, you're directing them to your deity or to your God. Then you possibly could think of yourself as being a little bit more stressed. Why I am attributing a little this stress or incoming stress to this invasion of Russia into Ukraine is because of the effect, like we have seen it having on the world food prices, world gas and oil prices. And even just the thought that the world is at war is just enough to cause people stress. So, what to do? How do we manage this stress, you may ask? I have 10 suggestions. You may know of these suggestions, but it doesn't harm to remind ourselves. Number one, stress loves a hungry body, a dehydrated body, and a body deprived of sleep. These three are very good ground for stress to grow, to mature, to blossom. That means eat your balanced meals as much as you can, drink enough water, and try to get sufficient sleep. Number two, stress is part of life. Try to remember your past stressful moments and recollect how you went about solving those issues. Try redoing the same or try practicing the same methods or the same procedures that you did and you recovered from your stress, and see if it's gonna work for you this time. Implement what is familiar, what worked for you. Number three, keep conversations open with your spouse, with your children, with those around you about the changes in the global economy. Let them know or let them relate the global economy changes into the changes in the family budget, so that the child does not ask for bread in the morning and as opposed to eating the ugali that was cooked last night as breakfast in the morning. They should understand that possibly this bread that I'm asking for is not available because the price differences. Just make them know, make them understand where we are coming from, so that we don't have them stressed over bread. At the same time, they can eat food that was left over last night and it makes good breakfast. Make reasonable changes in the budget where you have the same result at a lower cost. A basic example I would like to use is if you use body wash, then lower yourself to soap. If you use soap, the high grade bathing soap, you can lower down to yourself to a less expensive piece of soap. And on in many other ways that changes can be done in the family. Mothers are very good in this. Number 5, get into the habit of writing down a prioritized list of bills. Know which bills are most important for you to pay, which one should come first, which one can wait, which one can be paid half, etc., etc. That way you keep your mind clear that you will not have surprises. Number 6, keep the company of value-adding acquaintances and family members. Get out of that company that is forever complaining about the way life has become hard, the way we are suffering, the way the economy is bad. This gives you negative energy all the time. Keep the company of people who are going to lift your morale, people who are pleasant to be with. Number 7, stress comes with raising emotions that shift from anger to depression to guilt to many other confused feelings within ourselves. Learn to listen to yourself. Learn to dwell on yourself calmly. Learn to have moments with yourself. Sitting down, doing nothing, but just breathing in and out. Focusing on literally nothing, but giving your body time to enjoy the breath of life, a calm heart rate, and calmness around yourself. Number 8, to unwind, do exercises. And most importantly, keep off smoking, alcohol, and drugs that we may be tempted to use to counter stress. And by drugs, I mean even prescription drugs, unless really you are at that level where the doctor tells you now we must put you on prescription drugs to counter your stress. Number 9, engage calming methods that relax the body, soul, and mind, such as practicing self-mindful compassion. This is simply sitting down and telling yourself you love yourself. You breathe in, you breathe out, you tell yourself all will be well. You focus on good things. You focus on self-affirming thoughts. You can also try yoga. Yoga simply means meditation for us Africans, music, prayer, spending time with animals such as cats, your pet, your dog, your cows. Animals have a way of stabilizing our emotions when we relate with them. Number 10, and the last one, is empty yourself. And keep a diary of your times and deeds. This means you write what you have gone through, like in a day or after 2 days, and or you talk out your stress. Find people who you can sit with, talk with them, maybe on phone, one-on-one. It doesn't matter, but make sure that you keep emptying yourself of the stress, because the more you have in yourself, the more it overburdens you, and the more it puts pressure on you, and the more you can easily snap. Finally, I urge all of us, food security is the key here. We are talking about survival. We don't know how long the trouble in Europe will take. It may take 2 months. It may take 3 months. First World War took 4 years, 1914 to 1918. Second World War took 4 years. No, actually more than 4. From 1939 to around 1945 or thereabouts, if my memory serves me right. This one is not yet declared as a third world war, but who knows how long it's gonna take. Nobody knows the trajectory it's going to take. So here we're talking about survival at the family level. We're talking about food being the basic need. If you have a piece of land, this, like I said, is the land preparation season in Kenya. If it is within your means, please plant food. Food sufficient for you, food sufficient for your neighbor or your brother. That way, even if all else has failed, even if gas does not come from Russia or it's not affordable, we can still use the local firewood to cook our potatoes and to cook our maize. And that way we shall keep hope alive. Thanks for staying with me to the end. Let us be proactive rather than being reactive in this challenging time, and keep hope alive. We shall be having another session on the same Russia-Ukraine war and effects it has on us, and that will be in our next episode, and I hope we shall meet then. Thank you for listening. Please share, please subscribe, and may God bless you. Bye-bye.